Today we're diving into the ongoing antitrust investigation by China into NVIDIA, the U.S. semiconductor giant. This case is significant not just for NVIDIA, but for the entire global tech industry and geopolitical relations between the U.S. and China. Let's break down what's going on and what it means for the future of the semiconductor market. China's government has launched an investigation into NVIDIA over suspected violations of its anti-monopoly laws related to NVIDIA's acquisition of Mellanox Technologies in 2020. With this move, NVIDIA strengthened its position in the chip market, but now Chinese authorities are scrutinizing whether this acquisition allowed NVIDIA to unfairly dominate the market. This investigation is part of the ongoing battle between China and the U.S. over dominance in semiconductor manufacturing. The U.S. has recently tightened its chip export policies, making it more difficult for Chinese tech companies to access high-end chips. In this context, NVIDIA, known for its AI and high-performance computing chips, is now facing increasing pressure from both U.S. and Chinese regulators. NVIDIA is no stranger to antitrust concerns. In the past, the company has faced investigations in the U.S. regarding its dominance in the AI chip market. The Department of Justice, DOJ, had already subpoenaed NVIDIA, and now China is following suit, questioning their market practices. This investigation could have a direct impact on NVIDIA's share of the Chinese market, where it holds over 90% of the AI chip market. This move by Chinese regulators may also be seen as a push to support domestic competitors, such as Huawei, who are increasingly competing with NVIDIA in the AI and semiconductor space. The investigation could force NVIDIA to adjust its practices, much like the scrutiny China has placed on its own tech giants like Alibaba and Tencent. For NVIDIA, this investigation could have serious ramifications. China represents a major market for NVIDIA, particularly in the fields of AI, data centers, and cloud computing. However, the company has already seen some impact from geopolitical tensions, with U.S. export restrictions limiting access to advanced chips in China. A disruption to its operations in China could force NVIDIA to reconsider its business strategy and potentially shift focus to other regions or industries. The investigation is also a reflection of the broader tensions in the global semiconductor industry. As the U.S. and China compete for dominance in the AI and chip markets, tech companies like NVIDIA are caught in the middle. The U.S. government has increasingly restricted Chinese access to critical technologies, and now China is taking a more aggressive stance by investigating companies like NVIDIA. This back and forth could disrupt global supply chains, lead to innovation slowdowns, and even force companies to rethink their international operations. NVIDIA has yet to formally respond to the investigation by China's regulators. However, the company has historically taken steps to address similar concerns in other markets. For instance, in 2021, NVIDIA announced a plan to restructure its acquisition of Arm Limited. After the UK and European regulators raised antitrust concerns, NVIDIA may have to similarly address China's concerns by altering its practices or offering assurances to regulators. This investigation is part of a wider trend where governments are increasingly focused on regulating big tech companies. The European Union has already introduced strict regulations to address anti-competitive practices, and the US has taken similar steps, especially in the tech and semiconductor sectors. Now, China is joining the global effort to hold large tech companies accountable, particularly as these companies' influence grows in critical industries like AI and semiconductors. The outcome of this investigation could have wide-reaching effects. If NVIDIA is found guilty of anti-competitive practices, it could face significant fines, forced changes in its business operations, or even a limitation on its market share in China. On the other hand, if the investigation clears NVIDIA, it could mark a victory for the company as well as a shift in the way China handles foreign tech giants. For NVIDIA, a lot is at stake, not just in terms of market share, but also in its long-term strategic goals. The company's future in China and other international markets could hinge on how they navigate these regulatory challenges. In the broader sense, the investigation could serve as a precedent for how other countries deal with the growing power of tech companies in the coming years.